Hello everyone, welcome to Learning the Lingo. My name is Matthew, and this is the 10th video in our series in which we are learning how to read Hebrew. Today, we are going to learn another letter with a final form, and also some more vowel markers. This is the letter Nun. Nun makes the N sound. Nun has a final form, which looks like this. You can also add a little hook on the top, just like a vav or a yud. The name of Joshua's father was Nun, and to spell this, we have a regular Nun, followed by a Vav with a shuruk, which makes the U sound, and then a final Nun, which also says N. N, Un, Noon. See how the final Nun goes below the line of writing. Here we have an aleph to show the regular writing space. The Vav takes up the same amount of height as an aleph, and the yud only takes up the top part. Let's make a word with a final nun. This word starts with a kaf with dagesh, which makes the k sound. Under the kaf we have a qamatz, and then we have an aleph, and a final nun. We know the nun says n, but what is the silent aleph doing in the middle of the word? Well, if an aleph does not have a vowel marker on itself, that means the aleph will have no effect at all on the pronunciation of the word, and we just read the word as if the aleph wasn't there at all. So we just have the kaf with dagesh and qamatz at the beginning, ka, and the final nun at the end, n, and that's the entire pronunciation of the word. N, Khan, which means here in modern Hebrew. Let's learn a new vowel marker. This vowel marker is called the patach-sh'va because it is made up of a patach and a sh'va under a letter together like this. The patach-sh'va makes the ah sound just like a patach, except it's a little bit shorter than a patach sound, just a quick ah, because the sh'va, which is kind of just a little sound, combines with the patach to make a quick ah sound. In all, there are 3 vowel markers which make the ah sound: the qamatz, the patach, and the patach-sh'va. All of these make the ah sound, but the qamatz has the longest sound, ah, the patach has a medium length sound, and the patach-sh'va has the shortest ah sound. I am kind of exaggerating, there's hardly any difference between these sounds. These vowel markers can even be interchanged with each other sometimes. For example, if a word is usually spelled with a qamatz, but it is at the beginning of, say, a phrase or a sentence, it might be shortened to a patach-sh'va instead. And likewise, if a word is usually spelled with a patach-sh'va, but it is at the end of a sentence or phrase, it might be lengthened to a qamatz. The Hebrew word for I has both a patach-sh'va and a regular nun. This word starts with an aleph, which is silent, and under the aleph is a patach-sh'va, which says ah. Moving to the left, we have a nun, which makes the n sound. Under the nun is a hirik, and after that comes a yud. Those together say e. Sounding it out, we have a-n-e, ani, I. If the word ani is at the end of a sentence, we might use a kamat instead of the patach-sh'va. Remember, the kamat is the longer form of the a vowel, and so if we have a word at the end of a sentence, we might use the kamat because we have more time to drag out the vowel, ani. Again, there's not much difference in sound, just a very subtle one. We're going to end today by taking a look at the qamatz. By now you probably know very well that the qamatz makes the ah sound, but there are a few cases where the qamatz can make an o sound. Let's see where. The most common word which uses qamatz in this way is the word kol, which means all or everything. This word starts with a kaf with dagesh, which makes the k sound, and it ends with a lamed, which makes the l sound. Usually, the O sound is represented with a cholam chaser, but the cholam chaser can only be used in this word if the syllable kol is accented. Obviously, since kol is a one-syllable word, that one syllable, kol, has to be accented. But often, certain words in Biblical Hebrew are connected with a dash, and that often makes the two attached words share just one accented syllable. In Biblical Hebrew, we can tell which syllable has the accent because it will have one of these punctuation marks, which indicate the flow of the verse. Here we can see that this syllable, which is not kol, has the punctuation mark, and therefore is the accented syllable, and so that means kol is not accented. And if an O vowel is in the middle of an unaccented syllable, it can be written as a qamatz. Now when I say middle, I mean there must be both a first letter and a second letter in that syllable, with the vowel in between. In this case, the syllable kol has both a first letter, the kaf, and a second letter, lamed, with the O sound in the middle, written as a qamatz. Now, if we have an unaccented syllable with a qamatz, if that syllable has only one letter, the qamatz still says ah. And if a syllable has two letters, but that syllable is accented, the qamatz still makes the ah sound. It is only if a syllable is both unaccented and has two letters that a qamatz in that syllable will make the o sound. If you think the qamatz as an O sound is complicated, don't worry, because this is pretty rare, and as you learn more Hebrew, you'll learn which words tend to do this. In review, today we learned the letter nun, which has both a regular form and a final form, and which makes the n sound. We also learned that if a letter aleph has no vowel marker on it, not only is that aleph silent, but it has no effect whatsoever on the pronunciation of the word. We also learned a new vowel marker, the patach-sh'va, which is the third of three vowels that make the ah sound. We also learned that if a qamatz is in a syllable which has two letters and is unaccented, the qamatz will make the o sound. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications so you can know when I make a new video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and shared it with your friends who you think would like to learn Hebrew. Goodbye.